At this point, it's been going on for so long that it's like, look, I get that stores are getting allocated everywhere. Stores in general cannot be getting as badly allocated as we are continuously for this long and stay in business.
In the Midwest, you know the best is there waiting, so come and join the conversation. Highs to approved, fan and artist and creator too. This is how the challenges do. What? Keep the conversation moving along. Keep reading comics, keep your local store strong. It gets hard and it's a job for the challengers. What? Comics and conversation, y'all.
From
Challengers Comics in Chicago.
This is Contest of Challengers, a comics industry business podcast with
Patrick Brower.
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 Patrick Brower and W. Dal Bush.
W. Dal Bush.
Dal Bush.
Dal Bush.
Dal.
Dal. Dal.
Dal.
W. Dal Bush.
This is definitely an example of a week where I have partial notes. You know, I have the dedicated notebook that I keep in my backpack.
Yes.
But if I'm not near my backpack, it's like, what scrap paper is handy?
Mm-hmm.
This Comics Code Authority, which I told you was a CBLDF.
I knew which one you meant. Yeah.
This is the one you can see its permanent curve. Because it lived in my back pocket all during New York Comic Con.
Oh, smart.
And I have my New York Comic Con notes in ink.
Oh, yeah.
In the beginning.
Very fancy pen.
This is a thing that we're still slowly working on.
Okay, yeah.
And then my horrible pencil scratchings for this week's episode, because like, okay, this is the top notebook, I'll use this.
Is one of your notes about this week's episode about Distillery?
No, I don't know what that is.
Distillery had an announcement today.
I'm going to write this down today?
Today, this morning, I believe.
Before you go any further,
yes.
The only thing I saw was Chris Aaron from Popverse does a weekly update of what jobs are available in the comics industry.
Okay.
And this is everything from retail to publishing to marketing to whatever.
Sure.
And in his LinkedIn headline, he listed the publishers, and Distillery was one of them.
So this isn't about a hiring or a firing. This is basically that Distillery is pausing their publishing.
Okay.
Without, I think, them going into too many details, the gist of it was 2025 was an incredibly challenging year for them based on a lot of things going on in distribution. They are putting a pause to their publishing. They're not canceling anything. They're not ending their publications.
But they're also not finishing anything, apparently.
Well, so basically, like, one of the things was like, here's the list of books. And it's like, Mischief of Magpies is also being indefinitely delayed.
Oh, man, for the second time.
For the second time. And, like, subsequent issues of other series. So it's not like we're going to finish our series and then pause. It's like, no, as of right now today, nothing else is coming out until we sit.
Sidarsky just mentioned that they just finished the last issue of White House Robot Romance.
Yeah, and...
Oh, man, it paused.
That's great.
Wow. I got a phone call. And I was afraid it was going to kill the recording, but it just paused it. That's wonderful.
So I'm going to go ahead and read this press release that The Beat, comicsbeat.com, had up from Distillery. Last year, unfortunately, brought more hurdles than consistency. Our distributor, Diamond, filed for bankruptcy, derailing our publishing schedule and preventing us...
Diamond filed for bankruptcy? Why is this the first I'm hearing?
And preventing us from shipping our titles to the direct market, to name a few of the effects. Distillery books are now distributed by Penguin Random House to comic shops in the book market, a big step forward, but the transition created release gaps and added complexity to how and when books reach shelves. All of these obstacles and our commitment to release these books with the thought and resources they deserve have led us to this moment where we need to take a short pause in publishing. Not because creators are behind, many issues are done or nearly complete,
and have been done for a long time,
but because publishing is more than releasing inspired stories. Good publishing entails the right strategy for timing, marketing, printing, and distribution, and we want to make sure these books land with the impact they deserve. Books that are on hold for now include City Beneath Her Feet, #3, Endeavor #3, Galactic #2, Mischief of Magpies #1, and White Boat #3. Yeah.
It didn't say anything about White House.
Yeah, it's just those 5 books. So, Distillery.
Okay. Let me just put this question in there.
Yeah.
Didn't they immediately go to Lunar and then immediately shift to PRH? Weren't they available for Lunar for a hiccup?
Initially, they were Lunar and Diamond.
Yeah.
Then they were just Diamond. Then they were just PRH.
Okay.
To my knowledge,
because I do remember us ordering them from Lunar briefly.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a shared.
I don't remember if it was just Lunar and then Lunar Diamond and then just PRH. I think it was always from both Lunar and Diamond. And then there was a huge gap between Diamond and PRH. Like they hilariously just started getting stuff back out to stores a few months ago and then quickly found themselves not putting stuff out to stores. Distillery's been a weird company for us because I remember when they first announced what they were doing and who they were doing it with and the format they were doing it in, all of that sounded like exactly the right move. The idea of doing stuff in a larger format for a higher price point, making it more like high-end collectible focused, felt like where the industry was moving to. There was a period during COVID where I genuinely thought single issue comics were done and that was okay. We'll just move on to, collect $20 graphic novels and stuff. That's fine. But it was like Distillery was the right idea at the wrong time because once they finally hit, it's like, oh no, people just want $4 comic books.
Yeah, but
They
also
don't want oversized books.
there was a whole component to their model that I felt was completely unnecessary or erroneous, which was the NFT section of it. Basically,
Neon Ichiban?
no.
That's still going.
No, right. But I mean, that's their new thing.
Right.
But the way they were offering the digital collectibles for these books, the way you could get Scott Snyder's personally read edition of White Boat.
Yeah, I mean, I think they dodged some of it by saying it wasn't technically blockchain stuff. It was its own proprietary thing.
And
but also,
calling it an NFT is erroneous.
Yeah.
But in my head,
in shorthand, for
that's
sure.
what it is.
Yeah, they do a lot of
And you can't make me think otherwise.
No. I never minded that a whole lot because it felt like it was for a different market than us. If people want to do their digital comics that way, I don't know or care. We're not selling digital comics.
But just the way they were selling that as like, this is the revolutionary aspect of our publishing.
Yeah.
I thought like that's,
I mean,
okay.
Neon Ichiban feels like the same thing to me, where you can get like a remarked digital comic book where it's like, it's just a digital sketch, or like having like a digital signature on a digital comic. None of that makes any sense to me. But again, I'm not either the market or the vendor for that, so I don't care.
Like you've done one CGC book your whole life, and that was to be able to sell it, which you did.
I did. But just for the comics part of things, it hasn't worked. Distillery hasn't worked. And it's weird because Somna was their first book, I think, or at least part of the initial wave of stuff. And Somna did great for us. But almost everything else since then has either been something that we didn't lose money on that wasn't like anything. It would sell, 5 or 6 copies, or stuff that we really got behind that definitely didn't click. I don't want to call it Spectrograph, but I'll call it Spectrograph. That seemed like a book that was primed to do really well, and just the James Tynion horror audience did not turn out for it. And frankly, like the bigger problem they're having, which hopefully this pause addresses, is the longer the gap is between issues, the more readers you're losing in the meantime.
Oh, for sure.
There's stuff where, like, if White Boat 3 comes out, for us, it's subscription only. I'm not carrying it for the shelf. I don't think anyone's left to buy it off the shelf for issue 3 when we don't have 1 and 2.
Of a 3-issue series.
And they came out like a year ago. Like, it's just done.
I didn't necessarily believe it was necessary to do bi-monthly double-size issues when you could do monthly single-size issue. They couldn't because of their publishing format.
Right.
But let me go back to Somna for a second. That was a huge hit for us, right?
Yeah.
What if that was a Dark Horse book? It still would have been a huge hit for us because of the creative
Yeah,
people.
we got behind it because of the creators more than anything else. Not because of...
Not the oversized format, not because of the prestige-bound format.
Yeah.
And it's a better looking package, sure, but also there's a lot of people that stay away from magazine-sized stuff.
Right.
And they're...
Even though, like, I think the thing that makes Distillery work is that you could put them on a bookshelf. They have a spine. It's got a title.
Yeah.
Like, for the leftover issues that we have of Distillery stuff, we do have them just spine out.
Yeah.
It's weird to me that Distillery hasn't clicked with the audience. And that also goes for their collections. We don't sell Somna. We don't sell Spectrograph. We don't sell whatever else they've managed to release in the collection. Is it just those 2? Is there another one that they've put out in a book form?
Yeah, there's Time Waits, I think.
Maybe.
The collection.
But none of those sell. We haven't sold a Somnon forever.
We did okay with them in the beginning. But also, there's this huge gap between their $35 hardcover and their $75 hardcover. Because I remember, I think both Molly and I got the $75 hardcover, or maybe Gina and I did.
Yeah.
And when I got it, I realized, it's not signed or anything.
No, it's just more expensive.
It's just got more stuff.
Yeah, there's some more stuff in the back.
But it's super limited. Like, I thought I was getting like a signed edition
But like everything Distillery...
That's on me for not reading the solicitation close enough.
Yeah, like everything Distillery was doing creatively was exactly what we wanted. It was like creators that have a following doing original properties in specific genres, sci-fi, fantasy, horror, that are underserved in the market. And yet, even when we could get people to buy issue 1, no one ever seemed to come back for 2 or 3. And sometimes that's, maybe there were delays and people just forgot about it or whatever. But I don't know if people like the properties, and I don't know what to do with that. Like, I don't think Somna was bad, Spectrograph was bad, Time Waits was bad, whatever. But like, it just, people did not want to stick with it. And maybe it was the format. Maybe it was the release cadence. Maybe it was, the concept or the execution or whatever. I don't know what part of the puzzle wasn't working, or maybe multiple parts. But just the end result was, we don't sell distillery books. And that's something we want to sell and we have pushed, and yet we cannot get traction on it. So whatever reset they need to do, I'm all for it at this point.
I don't know if this is even an indicator of that, and I can't explain why this is, but I like James Tynion's work a lot. I'm a big fan of his.
Yes.
I read the first couple spectrographs in single issue, but then fell off of it.
Yep.
It's Christian Ward, right?
Yes.
I have the hardcover. I have the hardcover sitting over there on my art table. I say over there because we are not in the podcastatorium.
No.
Dal's actually visiting me today, and we're in my living room.
Contest of Challengers is now a roving podcast.
It's definitely
taking place all over Chicago.
Right?
Who knows where?
So right over there on my art table, I have a copy of the hardcover, and I've had it there since June, and I haven't finished it.
Well, maybe you'll have like an extended hiatus where you're not going to the store where you can catch up on comics.
You know what? That's a good idea. Maybe I'll think about that.
Maybe 2 in 1 year. Who knows?
Also, just because we're both on the couch, and when I look over at you, I'm looking past you at the records.
Yeah.
Look how good they look.
They look good.
They look so good. I completely reorganized how I do my records. Those are the breakout ones. As you can tell, they've got the dividers with the band names and logos on them.
I like that you did different fonts.
Thanks.
Obviously, Kiss is the Kiss logo font.
Yeah, because I have that. It's called Destroyer. Go figure.
But then you had to come up with different fonts for like Elton John and Adamant.
I think I came up with a good one for Winger.
The Winger one is good.
Yeah.
Richie Kotzen's a real like block logo.
But those are like
is Joe Jackson like the most like comics font.
So those are the ones that I have a large quantity of per band. But right behind me is the new dump bin, where everything else is organized just alphabetically.
Which is, I think of as like what a spinner rack is to comics.
Yeah.
Like it's more what you'd have in like a retail environment than your home collection. But that actually is more fun to look at, because I think a lot of like what we want with our collections, and when I say we, I mean people who collect, I don't mean you and I specifically, is we want something that feels like you can engage with it more.
Yeah, so putting everything on the IKEA Kallax shelves, which was what my first idea was, it's just too hard to slide them in and out. The ones that were even, I definitely sleeve all them. Although this time around, I went and got 4 mil thick record sleeves from Matt's Baseball.
Instead of what?
Like 2.
Oh, okay.
And the 4 mils are too thick.
Oh.
I actually don't like it. Good that I bought 100 though. But, when you slide them out, the ones around them move or push back or whatever.
Sure.
But, so the dump bins are great because it's just like...
It's like a long box. Or like just, again, like a dump bin at a record store you've been to.
And it's a lot more inviting for me to flip through. But that's why I don't mind like having the 2 Kiss shelves right there, because, it's... I know what's on that shelf.
Yeah, and also the second one is all boxes.
Yeah.
So it's not something you would just like flip through or bagged or whatever. It's clearly a big thick box of Kiss Dressed to Kill 50th anniversary super deluxe edition.
4 of those off the soundboards
Mhm.
are specifically because we have an Alliance account now,
Sure.
and they had those.
Yeah.
I had one off the soundboard, which was a gift, as are the other 3 box sets on that shelf. But now it's like, all right, I can get those. Anyway, that's it. It's not completely unrelated because A, it's one of our suppliers. B, it deals with the way we display the stuff we buy.
Sure.
And especially the record dump bin ties it back into like a comic display thing.
But I mean, to bring it back to the distillery thing, I don't like when they announced their format as being oversized and high end collectible focused. Again, it really felt like that was where the market was trending. Was single issue comics are too ephemeral. They're too, they look too trashy. They look too, they're not this thing an adult wants in their home. But like, European format, 64-page comics with a spine that are $9 are where people want to be at. But then the market basically spent 2025 saying, no, the exact opposite.
Yeah.
We just want comics again. We don't want anything weird sized. We don't want anything oversized. We want collectible focused, not collector focused. And that kind of left Distillery with a place of like, oh, I don't know if this works. Like, I don't know if Distillery becomes a company that just does regular size comic books. I don't think they want to. And obviously it's not going to work for all the stuff that's formatted in their magazine sized formats. But I definitely will be ordering more conservatively going forward. We already have been. We would probably have ordered pretty high on Mischief of Magpies because I love that creative team a lot. And I think that style of release would be really good for them. But what we found, I think, honestly, even the Distillery books we've done well with, we had to hand sell the shit out of.
Yeah.
Like the amount of out of the gate traction any of these things have, even like White House Robot Romance, which is Chip Zdarsky and Rachel Stott.
It's super fun.
Was a thing that no one really pre-ordered. We had to get a ton of and then put it in everybody's hands. And frequently that leads to something where like nobody picks up 2 and 3. Like you hand sold the shit out of issue 1, but you can't necessarily hand sell the shit out of issues 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. Even when you're hand selling it to a subscriber, they're not going to put it on their list until they read it. And they may not read it right away.
Yeah, you can push them to buy it, but you can't make them read it.
And also with a lot of the books having been so late, it's like, oh, you just can't add it to them now because orders that closed.
Right.
Or in the case of Misters and Magpies, is it going to be resolicited again? And once again, we'll have to like copy all those orders over?
No. So that's one of the good things is that when that stuff gets resolicited or whatever, our managed comics data is still applied to it. So pre-orders and subscriptions just carry over to whatever the new solicit is.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So anyway, that was an announcement earlier today from Distillery.
And you have to look at other publishers from 2025, like Ignition, as being a new version of Distillery.
Yeah.
Like a higher end package, thick, heavy cardstock.
Cardstock cover, individually serialized issues.
Yeah. Every issue has a serial number on it. The same, I was going to say a lot of the same curation involved in putting out what they do. And I don't think that Ignition yet has an identity with the everyday comic reader. Like what I mean by that is I don't think people are coming in saying, give me the new Ignition book.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's people who are keying into, no pun intended, keying into
that's their new slogan, key into it.
Go ahead, you can have it.
But it's like a unnamed old-timey wrestler with a lot of frills and like a...
Oh, yeah. Key into.
Yeah, there you go.
Now I've been reading. Not legally actionable.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Uh-huh. Reading. Get Jay Lethal to do it.
So,
but like, I think what Ignition has is the same thing Distillery has, which is a sense of like the aesthetic approach to the physical product is really important to them.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have a specific like breakout book or thing it's doing, I don't think you can anymore in comics. Like there's too much stuff coming out and too many different like genres to hit. Like you could in order for Ignition or Distillery to do that, they would need to basically say, we just do horror books, or we just do sci-fi books, or we just do fantasy books. The thing is, if you're doing genre books, you're kind of in a bucket where you're competing with
Everybody?
There's a whole like middle class of comics publishers where, you know, IDW and Dark Horse and Distillery and Ignition and Boom are kind of all hitting around the same types of books when they're doing non-IP stuff, you know? Like, there's not a million miles between, like, Miss Truesdale and No Place and Alice Forever After and Galactic or whatever. Like, I'm not saying they're the same books or the same genres, but you can, if you put all those titles up on a wall, I don't know that most comics fans could tell you which publisher does which book.
It's funny you say that because I was trying to think of who behind the scenes is at Boom now, and I can't think of anybody. Like, we used to know everybody at Boom Studios,
Sure.
and now I couldn't even tell you who is in charge.
Is it not still Robert Boom, the inventor of Boom Studios?
He just goes by Bob Boom.
Bob Boom.
Bobby Boom.
I know, but I was trying to be respectful.
That's fair. No, like I can, like, you know, Oni, we knew everybody at Oni, and we were friends with everybody at Oni.
Mhm.
And now it's a completely different Oni, but we still know a bunch of people at Oni,
Yeah.
right? It's just different people, but we still know them.
Right.
But Boom is a publisher, and, you know, we know the Ignition people, and, you know, we know the Distillery people.
I mean, do you think us not knowing the Boom people is largely down to how they're part of Penguin Random House now, and they kind of have a different management structure, maybe?
No, like, I can tell you who sends us the marketing emails,
Yeah.
but I don't know them. You know what
I guess if anyone from Boom is listening to this and you want to hang out at C2E2, if you're coming to C2E2
or ALA.
or ALA, we can get to know you. We can have
But like
we did run into a couple Boom people at the Tiny Onion in New York.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
And they were nice. They were very fun.
Yeah.
I wish we'd had more time with them, but we were very, very tired and needed to get back to our hotel.
There was the ticking stuff. There was
taking the luggage for the evening.
And boy, was Dal stressed.
I was super stressed about it.
So stressed about it.
I had to run down New York streets in the middle of the night to make sure we got back to our hotel.
And in fact, he didn't need to because I got there in time. But
he didn't know that was going to happen.
I had faith. Anyway, like we used to know somebody from Mad Cave. We don't now, but that's because she moved over to Skybound.
Yeah, people move around.
Yeah, but like Mad Cave, we don't really have a relationship with. Fine, but like again, Boom, we knew everybody, and we don't. We know
they all landed
fewer people at DC than ever before, but we know Dark Horse, we know Image, we know Skybound.
Right.
We don't have anybody at Marvel, but nobody has anybody at Marvel.
No.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, Marvel prefers it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not required in this industry, but...
No, in fact, like, our main points of contact are through our distributors, and that's who we need the most direct access to.
Yeah.
Because they will, in turn, do the things that we need done, liaising with other companies.
Or publishers, yeah.
Or publishers to make sure that we can do our jobs.
But, like, there's a news item we'll get to later in this episode where when I found out about it, at first I had some questions and I started texting somebody from the company. And then I literally just texted, fuck it, I'm calling you. So I just called and we just like, I picked up the phone and called and they answered and we talked for about 20 minutes about specific things that this means. Mm-hmm. And that is, I think, a beneficial relationship to have because it answered my questions immediately. In fact, there is someone who reached out to us yesterday with a series of questions. And after this recording, I'm just going to email them and say, can we just do this on the phone? It's so much easier just to talk than it is to type it all out.
Yeah.
And it's, again, beneficial, but I think that it's helpful to have those relationships when you see these people in person, which is rare.
Right.
They all live in different cities. They may come to conventions. They may not.
Yeah, and I mean, C2E2 for us is not New York Comic Con or San Diego where all the publishers are there. Some people will be there, and like Patrick was saying, some people will see it at ALA. But yeah, it's not everybody from every publisher shows up.
Yeah. But again, I think these relationships are important to have. So when we have questions, we can very informally reach out or concerns or, in every sales rep or every whatever rep, marketing rep or whatever. I don't want to make it sound like a sales rep where it's just I'm trying to sell you books. They are, and that's fine. And we're trying to sell their books as well.
Exactly.
But everyone always says, if you need anything at all, just give me a call. And everybody says that, and they mean it, but also it's like a thing you almost never take it up on. But to be able to just be like, oh yeah, I have a question. I'm going to call.
Yeah.
Sometimes there'll be a level of, hey, are you free? Can I call you? And, or can we schedule a time? But other times it's just picking up the phone call. They answer. They don't.
Right.
It's not that hard.
Sure. I mean, we've gotten phone calls at the store from reps in different companies where it's just like, they have something coming up. They're thinking about us. They think it would be a good fit for us. They just reach out instead of the usual, like, let me explain it all in an email. We'll schedule a Zoom meeting or whatever. Yeah. It's just like, Patrick and I are at the store. One of us is at the store 6 days a week.
Yeah.
You can, if you're
Not for 6 days a week.
Yeah. If you're at a company and sometimes you just want to like ask a quick question, just call the store.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm more apt to give you time when I'm not at the store. I feel really bad for the DC FOC phone calls because they only happen on Fridays at noon our time, right? And when they say, hey, we have an FOC phone call, you have to sign up for it, and then they send you your Zoom credentials to get in, right? Most of our new comic shipments come Fridays at noon-ish.
Yep.
So the last 2 calls I've signed up for and couldn't even log in. Like, I just had no time. I couldn't, like, sometimes if I'm behind the counter doing stuff, I'll turn it on and have it on so I can tune in and out as I'm available. But when I'm set up in the opposite room and folding tables, unpacking a shipment, and ironically, the week before, 0 shipments on Friday. Nothing came in. But last week and last month, those calls, right when we get our books.
That's a great way for us to get our books, I guess.
Yeah. So even this time when I said yes, I'm like, hey, I'm going to say yes again. I couldn't watch it all last time because they know if you don't log in. Of course they know. Like, I couldn't log in at all because that's when our delivery came. And if it comes tomorrow at the same time, it's more important for me to be unpacking your books than to hear about your future books.
Yeah.
Because it's a DC call.
Right.
And it's our DC books coming in for sure. And sure enough, I was unable to do the call for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it didn't take me all day, but it took me that amount of time for sure. And I'm not willing to let the new product wait. Like, I want to unpack that, get that off the floor, get that out of the way, get that checked in and, reported and all that before I do the rest of my day. So 2 months in a row, I could not do that phone call.
Yep.
So, I'm sorry, and I think they had Scott Snyder on that one, but that's okay. They've had Scott Snyder before.
It's true. He does a lot of books for them. I'm sure he'll be on a lot more calls.
Yeah. But there's no good time for that. Unfortunately, Managed Comics often does their calls or their shows Thursday afternoons.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're both off Thursday is a great time. Catch a movie, something during the day.
For example.
Right when Managed Comics is always doing their videos. So we miss those, but we can go back and watch those.
And we do.
And yeah, and there's like, I spent some time this week catching up on calls that people, I didn't do live, but people put up online.
Mm-hmm.
And I can watch it after the fact and at my own pace. And I can pause and I can go make a sandwich or go to the bathroom or whatever. I don't have to worry about missing an important bit because I can just pause it.
Right.
So I'm more inclined to schedule publisher calls on my days off because there's not the, hold on, I got to ring somebody up. Hold on, I got to answer another phone call.
Yeah, hold on, divided attention.
Exactly. Yeah. And I also don't like doing those as Zoom calls. I'd rather those just be phone calls.
Sure.
I don't need to see you to talk to you.
No.
And also so many of the streams and things I watch, people have really good comic setup backgrounds for where they are. Like, their webcam points to bookshelves full of comics. Mine points to my kitchen.
Yeah. It's a good kitchen.
But I like to, like, if I know I'm going to have like a video call, I will set up a Challengers banner behind me.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. I think it adds a little level of professionalism And I think like
Get a little like pull down shutter with the Challenger thing on it, put it in the ceiling.
you know, you are not the first person to suggest that. In fact,
I think it's an idea. Maybe you're getting that for your birthday.
Samantha had said last week about, they make these just arc pulls you can set up and just drape stuff over. I'm like, I don't want to take up any space. Your idea comes from the ceiling, so it's
like basically pulling down like a screen for a projector.
But it's easier. I need a hook as well.
Sure.
Yeah. Also, it's got to be long.
Yeah,
I get tall ceilings. What do you think these ceilings are? 10 feet?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I do have. I've saved a bunch of Zoom backgrounds, but I've never been able to use them properly.
Yeah.
2 different TARDIS interiors, the Hall of Justice, Batcave, and Fortress of Solitude.
Okay. Those are good ones.
Those are my 5. But again, I've never used them.
Sure.
Anyway, I had a good segue for this and it went away.
Okay.
But you know what? Since we're talking about publishers, we'll talk about a big publisher announcement from ONI this week.
Yes.
ONI,
currently distributed through Lunar.
Through Lunar, yeah. In August is shifting over to Penguin Random House. Exclusively. They're leaving Lunar and going to PRH.
For all of their graphic novels and comic books.
Yeah, so that's the thing. The way it was worded at first, it made it sound like it was just for the book trade, but then I realized, no, it's everything. And then I'm like, okay, and then it says exclusivity, so I want to make sure that they're not giving us the option, because you and I talked about this before on the podcast, thanks to a listener question. In a perfect world where you could get your books from anyone, who'd you get it from?
Right.
So given the choice of keeping our ONI stuff with Lunar or moving to PRH, I'm like, that's a good question. Who would we choose? It's a moot point. It's PRH.
Right. I would probably choose PRH, even though like one of the things that is kind of annoying is shifting your distribution channel in Managed Comics. Managed Comics, I should make it clear, makes it very easy to switch the distribution channel, but the problem is you lose some of the data. Your sales data, and Brian can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but my experience with my sales data for different books is when they switch to a new distributor, I don't have that sales data anymore. Like I have it, but I can't access it through FOC because I'm ordering through a different distributor, even though it's the same title or the same publisher. So there would be like a period of a couple months where it'd be a little bit more difficult to do some ordering on like subsequent issues of series that have already been coming out. Number ones, it wouldn't matter a whole lot. Graphic novels, it wouldn't matter a whole lot. But I think for a company like ONI that we don't necessarily do a lot of comic orders through, it's not as big a deal. I would suffer through it for a couple of months because I think it would be a little bit better to shift it to Penguin Random House, partially because our PRH deliveries are a little bit more reliable. And also because our Lunar shipments are way too big right now. And shifting a little bit of stuff. Yeah. PRH could balance it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Our Lunar shipments are so huge and our PRH shipments are smaller now.
So the other thing I think about switching over in Managed Comics from the distribution channel is it switching over is a timing issue because we order trades so much further in advance than we do single issues.
Yep.
That when you switch over, you could be cutting off a channel that you don't mean to cut off.
I don't think that's correct because I think in Managed Comics, there's a drop-down menu for both books and comics individually. So you could basically set the trades channel for Penguin Random House and keep the comics one for Lunar for like an additional month.
Okay.
And I know at a certain point, Managed Comics just goes through and makes that, like when there isn't a choice anymore, they just shift it to the only one. So once you get into like August and they are completely switched over, it would be, you'd automatically be getting everything through Penguin Random House when you're trying to order.
Yeah. Okay. I just got another email directed to me, which is more business I have. I was out with a friend last night and she's like, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, well, I'm off, but I have a podcast, and then I have this laundry list of emails I have to get back to and interview requests and whatnot. And I was going to, if we have time this episode, I was going to see if you could pull up the library interview request and see if we could knock out some of the answers here to save me some time.
Sure.
But I don't know if we'll get to that or not. And that's why you're visiting my area today and we're not doing a movie because like, hey, we get this stuff done in the morning, then I have the whole rest of the day to not like to just work. I haven't done usually Wednesday nights I'll do the invoice breakdown.
Sure.
I was seeing Jason Ladanye last night. I didn't have the time.
I'm very grateful that Hollywood didn't want to release any big new movies this weekend because of the Super Bowl. So that means that Thursday we could both just get some work done.
Yeah. Yeah. Dal has been killing himself behind the scenes, not only getting everything ready for this weekend sale, which is going on right now
As you're listening to it.
as this goes up. I don't know when you're listening to it, but when it's released.
Even if you're listening to it 8 months from now, the sale's going on from February 7th to the 13th.
Okay. And some significant website changes immediately after the sale.
Yeah. We'll probably talk more about that either in the next episode or the one after that. I probably would want the stuff to actually be out in the public before we start talking about it.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. So, yeah, just because we're not at the store doesn't mean there's not still
Always work.
a tremendous amount of work always being done. A fellow retailer today said, what's it like having a day off? I'm like, man, the amount of work I have to do later today, that is not a day off.
Please don't think about it as having a day off. Think about it as a day not being in the store.
Yeah, there's always work to be done. How many times do people respond? Like they'll email us and we'll respond immediately, which is like 2 a.m. And they're like, I can't believe you responded at 2 a.m. You emailed at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Also, you think I want this stuff hanging over my head later?
Yeah, exactly.
I want it out of my way.
Yeah.
Done.
I don't like, man. Yeah. We're not going to talk about emails again. We talk about that way too much.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, Oni is moving to Penguin Random House.
Yep.
And I joked to Torma that what it means is it's slightly less work for me and slightly more work for you, but not really.
Yeah.
Like, if I ever get back to doing Lunar initial orders again, I don't have to do Oni anymore.
Right.
Starting for August.
Right.
But since you do all the FOCs, it doesn't matter if you're doing the FOCs for Lunar or for PRH. It's still the same thing.
Do them all the same day at the same time.
Yeah. So there you go. I am curious as to why they're doing it, but it doesn't change how I run my business.
Yeah, I'd assume that a lot of it has to do with, larger financial concerns when dealing with different distributors and the services each distributor offers. That's an interesting thing about how the dissolution of Diamond's monopoly has played out, is that while it didn't offer stores freedom from a monopoly, because basically you have a number of publishers that are exclusive to different distributors. So while you get to order from different distributors, you don't get to choose where you're ordering from for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Weirdly, it seems like it's maybe helped out some publishers because they have the option of shopping around. They get to move between distributors. Distributors have to kind of, I would hope, compete a little bit for publishers' business. Although it may also go the other way where publishers are, trying to compete for distributors' attention. And so it maybe has less to do with what sweet deal did Lunar or Penguin Random House offer us, so much as what did Oni have to do to, get Penguin Random House to take them instead of Lunar or whatever.
Yeah. I know that we are losing 5 percentage points on the discount from Oni to moving to PRH, but we're picking up free shipping.
Yeah.
Which is not that much of a gain because our Oni orders aren't like massive.
No. Occasionally there's like a bigger book that we really get behind or something that's a graphic novel that we're going to do a lot with. But for the most part, Oni is a pretty small publisher for us.
And so that means we're, losing money on this deal.
Mm-hmm.
I assume I don't know if they're picking up the full 5%, but they're picking up something from it.
I don't know.
But, if it's better for them, good for them.
Sure.
Whatever helps them remain viable in this publishing sphere.
Yeah. And honestly, maybe it has more to do with Penguin Random House's ability to get their products into non-comic shops. That is a big push that Penguin Random House has been doing since they started distributing comics more, is trying to create curated stuff for non-comic shops to be like, you could be carrying Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. You could be carrying DC Combat Comics. You could be carrying all these other things that you don't think of as being part of your core business, but we will help you understand how to carry Boom stuff, IDW stuff, whatever. I don't know how effective that is. I don't know how many non-comic shops are taking Penguin Random House up on that, but at least they're putting that in their field of vision. I know that for us, it's gone the other way. where there's a lot of smaller publishers and non-comics oriented stuff that PRH has put in front of us that we've been like, oh yeah, no, we should be stocking that. Yes, we should be getting those postcards or those sticker books or those storybooks or those box sets or whatever.
Yeah. I do like when we fill out those portions of our inventory. I do like that we have a dedicated game book section. And I don't mean role-playing games. I mean like coloring books, crosswords, word searches, sticker books.
Yeah.
The activity books is what I should have just said. Including, somebody was coming out with a Fantastic Four Mad Lib or something. And I'm like, what other Mad Libs have they had? So we went back and took everything that was
there's a Doctor Who Mad Lib.
Yeah, there's a Critical Role. Things that fit with what we sell.
Right.
And those Mad Libs have done well for us.
Yeah.
So, it's like, all right, since we have a dedicated section, if we didn't have like a dedicated section, I don't know that I'd be like, oh, let's get those.
Sure.
But because we have inside kicks, 4 4-foot shelves filled with coloring books and sticker books and activity books, I like having that stuff.
Sure.
And that is stuff that we wouldn't normally have thought of stocking. I like that we have a shelf full of box sets and sidekicks.
Right.
Man, there are so many.
Would you ever think about doing like superhero soundtrack vinyls?
Oh, gosh. I don't know that there is enough to... Yes, I would. I don't know that there's enough. Like, do you mean like scores and things?
Yeah. Like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I know that like, obviously Alliance is what I'm thinking about.
Right.
Is we have access to
we do
vinyl soundtrack.
Their discount on vinyl is terrible. Like, I don't mind buying my vinyls with them because it's slightly cheaper than retail for me.
Right.
But the retail that they'd have to be would be, I don't know, prohibitive.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily thinking about like we should do a whole section so much as like maybe getting ones or twos of different things as they become available to be like, I don't know, let's see if this goes.
I mean, I've got the Werewolf by Night soundtrack over there.
Yeah, I mean, people have bought Marvel Studio stuff, DC stuff.
Yeah.
There's been like some fun compilations of that material. I don't know if there's an audience for it at Challengers, but it's just like, oh,
we've got some unused milk crate type things. Where would they go?
I have no idea. I'm seriously just thinking about this as we're having this discussion.
I don't know if we can find a spot for them. I'm okay. That's a neat idea.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do more than like 5 or 6 to start with, just to be like,
sure,
let's see if anyone cares. If they don't, then
200 different things.
Yeah, and honestly, I would do 5 or 6 that Patrick, you would be okay potentially owning at some point, because if it's in the store for long enough, it's like just take them home. We can't sell them.
Interesting. I like it. It's a neat idea, and it's a good plan to have different product lines to fill space when our continual allocations for gaming cards are as abysmal as they have been. We frequently talked about how terrible...
Maybe that's where we put the vinyl, is we just take away all the card dips.
Yeah, right?
The vinyl next to the pins. There you go.
We've talked about how poor our allocations have been in Pokemon cards, but this week we got our allocations for the upcoming Magic the Gathering Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossovers.
Yeah.
And once again, it is almost like we should have 0.
Mm-hmm.
Because from everything we ordered, from all the different bundles to play boosters,
there's like 8 different assortments of ways you can get cards.
What we are, in fact, getting is one single box of play boosters.
That's it.
So 36 packs.
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
That's what we got.
That's all.
Turtle time.
And we even had a subscriber come up to us and say, hey, I want to start ordering 2 boxes each of play and collector boosters for all the Magic stuff. And I thought, well, you'll never get those from us.
Nope.
We'll never get those.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not blaming our game distributor, because I know that they're in a hard place as well. Like, for Pokemon, I get it. We haven't always carried Pokemon cards. We took a break. Whatever. We've been carrying Magic cards from this same distributor since we opened.
And honestly, even the Pokemon thing, like, we've been carrying Pokemon cards pretty continuously for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
So, like, even though we took a break, it's been at least 5 years that we've been carrying Pokemon cards again and trying to order a ton. And, I mean, look, I don't know that I want to let our distributor off the hook as much. I don't think they're allocating us differently. I think maybe they're getting more heavily allocated from Wizards of the Coast,
Right.
or the Pokemon Company, than other distributors might be, which is why, I don't know, man, maybe with the next wave, we have alternate distributors. I think for the next one, we just try them.
I mean, we've tried.
No, I mean, like, for the next whatever new thing, we don't order from our main distributor. We order from a secondary one, and we say, okay, if we get heavily allocated here, then it's everybody.
Okay, but why don't we order from both just to cover our backs?
Okay, but then we'd have to split it, and that means I don't know how the allocations would work out. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like as an experiment, it would be worth it.
Oh, no.
To order what we would order from our main distributor, only from our secondary distributor, to see what do we get of this? Do we get more, less, the same?
I understand that, but I'm thinking we should place the full order with both of them.
Oh, man.
You're afraid that that's the one time it'll hit and we'll get everything.
That's the Fallen Empires.
Yeah.
That's everyone. Like, back in the day, for anyone who doesn't remember, who wasn't selling Magic cards from the beginning like Patrick was, allocations were super heavy for the first few sets of Magic cards. And then Fallen Empires hit, and Wizards of the Coast actually printed the full assortment. And so stores that were ordering like they were only going to get 25% got 100%. And suddenly everybody had 4 times as much cards as they needed, and they couldn't sell them. And some stores went out of business because of it, because they got a bill that was 4 times as large as they thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
couldn't afford it.
Where are all those Fallen Empires now?
Still in shops. So, yeah, I mean, my fear is, we're ordering, 8 boxes of play boosters from our vendor, getting 1, that if we decided to order 8 from 2 different vendors,
We'd get 16.
what if we get 16? And then it's like, well, shit. Like, that could be a problem. So when the next,
we'll come up with a happy medium.
We'll figure it out. But
I feel like if we just order onesies each from our main, like, they can't allocate us to 0, right? You have to get something.
no, we've gotten allocated to 0 for stuff. But yeah, I think it's worth giving it a shot, because at this point, it's been going on for so long that it's like, look, I get that stores are getting allocated everywhere. We cannot stores in general cannot be getting as badly allocated as we are continuously for this long and stay in business. So somebody somewhere has to be getting product. And
yeah, Target.
I mean, shops, comic and game shops are getting product from places. I don't think anyone's getting as much as they want, but no one can continuously be getting as little as we've been getting and still stay in business. Like, for us, Pokemon and Magic is a sideline. It's something, it's a point of purchase display. We don't do in-store events. We don't do single cards. We don't buy collections. It's just, while you're getting your comics for the week, you get a couple packs of cards, or kids come in and they get a pack or 2 of cards on the weekend. There are stores that their entire business model is Magic and Pokemon cards. They must be getting the product from somebody at levels at which they could stay in business. They could pay their rent. They can pay their employees. They can pay for more product. So someone somewhere is getting product at a higher level than we're getting. So it's worth investigating. Look, is it our distributor? Maybe it's not. Maybe our secondary distributor would allocate us just as heavily as our primary distributor, and therefore the bottleneck is way higher up the chain. It's at the manufacturing level. But at this point, I'm concerned it might not be. It might be the manufacturer is deciding
Who gets it?
who gets what part of their allocation.
Yeah.
And they are looking at our primary distributor and going, not them. Like, that was a Diamond thing. Diamond was in such shit with Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast was giving them like next to nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why bother? You owe us all this money.
I mean, fortunately, we were never ordering our Magic cards from Diamond, but
Nope. So yeah, it's a thing I've been thinking about as we continuously say, like, obviously our distributor wants to be making money and they don't want to be allocating us, but it's like, let's investigate this. Let's really find out if that's the case or not.
I got a call over the weekend, and the person said, yeah, do you have, and they said 2 words that I didn't understand together. I'm like, what is that? And they repeat it. I'm like, can you say that again? They repeat it. And I said, I don't know what that is. And they said, Pokemon cards. Because they were just saying
Whatever the new wave is.
Yeah, whatever the wave name is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, well, first of all, say that. Say, do you have the Pokemon cards, blah, blah, blah. Then I just said, we don't carry Pokemon cards.
Because we basically don't.
Yeah, you do. Like, we do not carry Pokemon cards. I bought them from you before. We currently do not carry Pokemon cards. Oh, okay. Because, yeah, I was going to say I bought them from you before. No, you did say that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, do you think I'm lying to you? You think I'm hoarding these?
Also, even if I was lying, what is that going to do for you if you found me out?
Yeah. Oh, all right. Come on in.
Like, this isn't like a leprechaun that you've tricked. We're suddenly like, okay, well, now Pokemon cards are available and we have a ton of them on the shelf. We don't have them, and I could, whatever justification I give you, it doesn't change the fact that we don't have them.
There are times when people will ask for a thing by a subheading, and I know exactly what they're asking for, but I will make them go the long way so they learn. So they don't just say, I don't know, I can't think of a... Do you have Red Sun? Red Sun? Do you have Red Sun? I'm not sure what that is. Superman Red Sun? Oh, Superman Red. Yes, we have Superman Red Sun. You know, like, yeah, and that's me being a dick. But I'm looking at, like, the next time they go to ask for something, hopefully they will give the full title.
That's the sacrifice you'll make, Patrick. You'll be the bad guy in this one instance so that they will have
I'm just trying to help them.
some education.
Trying to help them. You know what I really want to do?
No.
See those two figures in the bottom case right there?
I do?
I want to take them in those boxes and build something where they go with that Dan piece as a single diorama. Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
I mean, that's why I bought them, because they were on a New Year's sale 2024.
Because you didn't necessarily need more Thunder Rosa or Dr. Britt Baker DMV figures.
Correct. All right. So I'm saving I'm real sorry to do this to you, Dal. The hardest topic for last.
Oh, yikes.
The thing that's going to upset you the most. And we already found out that a major program we use, Microsoft Publisher, is sunsetting in
October?
Yeah. So we've already started looking into replacements and soliciting advice, and, you know, we've got time, whatever.
All right.
We just found out, Tuesday, that a Shopify, that's their mascot, like a little cart with a smile, like Clippy, but...
That's pretty good. They call their AI agent Sidekick, and I want to fight them about it.
Somebody had a really great graphic this week. It was the evolution of the recycling bin.
Uh-huh.
And it was all the different iterations, like little pixel,
sure,
blah, blah. And the punchline is, when it gets to 2026, it's the new Google AI image. Yeah. Anyway, there's a Shopify app we use all the time that is integral to our day-to-day business that Shopify is just getting rid of in...
Setting.
What, August, was it?
August. End of August.
And that is Stocky.
Yeah, and we've talked about Stocky before. Stocky was an independent app that Shopify bought and brought in-house, and you get to use it for free if you have POS Pro, which is what we use to do our point-of-sale system for Shopify. Stocky is basically how we do our purchase orders and our inventory management, in the sense of like how we generate purchase orders. So when we run out of graphic novels from a specific vendor, like Penguin Random House or Lunar, we're able to set a bunch of rules for what levels we want all of our graphic novels to be stocked at, and then generate a purchase order based on those stocking levels, and then tweak that purchase order, and then export that purchase order and give it to Penguin Random House or Lunar so they know what books to send us. And it's a very good system, and it's basically how we're able to have a really good graphic novel section. Shopify is getting rid of that in less than 8 months. And they're also,
for no reason.
Yep. They're also, their suggested replacement is the inbuilt Shopify purchase order system, which is woefully inadequate, and had a really funny thing where you could click learn more in Stocky about the fact that it's going away. And they had a little section where they're like, hey, don't worry, you can use Shopify's tool. We randomly picked 6 things that Stocky does of the 24 things that you might use Stocky for. And of the cherry picked 6 things, don't worry, Shopify's version does 5 of them right now, and a 6th one probably in the future when we figure it out. It's like, cool. I use it for so much more than that. And you basically ignored it, which means it's not doing any of that right now, and you don't plan on having it do any of that. One of the main things that Stocky does is, again, you're able to set restocking rules for all of your inventory. So we can go into something like Absolute Batman Volume 1 softcover and say, okay, we want a minimum quantity of 2 copies on the shelf and maybe a maximum quantity of 5 copies. So that when we go to generate a purchase order, if we have 3 copies on the shelf, it'll say, hey, you want up to 5, so maybe you want to order 2 more. If we have, or actually, so what it would do is if we had 3 copies on the shelf, it wouldn't necessarily do anything. But once we hit 2 copies, it'd say, hey, you want 5 copies on the shelf, so order 3 more. So we get to have this ability to decide what levels we want our books to be at.
And when it tells us we need them.
Correct. Shopify natively doesn't have any of that. So if you want to build a purchase order in Shopify, you cannot generate it automatically on any rules. You basically need to go into the purchase order and look at your entire list of products and manually add things to it, which is the most asinine way possible when you have an inventory of like over 50,000 items with potentially hundreds of new items every single week. Shopify, as always, is a difficult platform because they're kind of serving 2 audiences. They're serving one audience, and you can see this when you're looking at like some of the ways that they have like fake stores and stuff that they'll use in their advertisements or in their solicitation tools, where they'll come up with like, here's a fake website to show you how a process we made works for your website. And most of the time it's like a hot sauce company that makes 12 hot sauces. It's like, that's great. Again, we are a store that has 50,000 items in our inventory that gets a minimum of 200 new items every single week from a variety of distributors. I don't need a website that has 12 items on it. I don't need a purchase order tool that only deals with 12 items. I don't need a purchase order tool that has tons of AI built in that's trying to get me to reorder stuff that I cannot reorder because our industry, the majority of products that we get are not kept in print or production. I don't have only evergreen items that I'm constantly reordering because, frankly, I might be manufacturing them myself, which is what a lot of the Shopify stores are.
Just for example, yesterday, I was looking at Shopify recommended, like, here's your best sellers.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our absolute best sellers that we should always have on hand, Chicago bag tax.
Yeah. Yep. We do sell a lot of Chicago bag taxes.
Yeah. And then it was a single bag and board.
Yeah. There was a notification that Shopify gave me on a splash screen earlier this week where they do a lot of things where it's like, here's things we're noticing about the behavior of your customers so that you can correct them and address them, probably using things that Shopify will try to sell you on in order to make more money and make your store more profitable. But the problem with almost all of it is it misunderstands what kind of store you're running and the behavior of the customers of your store. For example, I was warned by Shopify that 98% of customers who come to our website leave without buying anything.
What?
So what Shopify doesn't know is that we use Managed Comics as a subscription management tool. People come to our website, our customers, to make changes to their subscription management, to add titles, to drop titles, to pre-order books.
To facilitate the buying of the books in the store.
When they do that, they're coming to our website to essentially give us money in the future without giving us money right now. As far as Shopify is concerned,
that was a failure.
Those are lost sales. People are coming to your website and they're not buying anything. Like, no, because we do other things through our website. The hot sauce company doesn't do that. They're not taking subscriptions for upcoming hot sauces in the future using Managed Hot Sauce. Okay?
Clear. Is their name The Hot Sauce Company? That's a good name.
That's probably taken.
Sure.
So, yeah.
It'd be called Shop Sauce because it's short for Shopify sauce.
To wind this all the way back, Shopify is getting rid of Stocky and replacing it with something that doesn't do nearly enough for us. So I am currently in the early stages of trying to find a replacement for Stocky. And one, everything is bundled with way more AI shit than you would ever want. That again, fundamentally misunderstands what your business is and how it works. And two,
AI learns from you. So if you just tell it.
And two, unlike Stocky, isn't free. So whatever we get is going to be costing us more each month to do what we were already doing. That will require me to learn a bunch of new processes and try and tweak a bunch of new stuff to do what we were doing before. So that was a real bummer to find out this Tuesday that Shopify could just be like, I don't know, we don't think this is useful. And it's like, holy shit, it is. And what you have is not a replacement for it. It is not a substitute.
If there's one thing I've learned about the comics industry is that it is in 2026, in the mid 20s.
Mm-hmm.
is that it's really good at making basic functionality harder, more time consuming, and more costly than it ever used to be.
Yeah, it was a real bummer to find that out about Stocky. Just a real bummer, because we use that multiple times each week. And then there's additional stuff where it's like, oh, because Stocky was part of Shopify, when we needed to check in a purchase order, we could do it through POS. We just scan a bunch of stuff. You didn't have to use the admin computer that might be in use. It was super fast. I don't know if I can find a replacement that we can check in stuff through point of sale. That's up to the individual programmer. I don't know.
And one of the uses that I have for Stocky is when reorders come in with no invoicing, you find the purchase orders by searching through Stocky.
Yeah.
You can't find it on the back end normally.
Nope. Yeah, so there's the second half of February will be a lot of time spent trying out different programs and seeing what is a replacement and what is. So the two problems are, it needs to be a good replacement, and it also needs to be not prohibitively expensive. There's stuff that is ridiculously expensive that will probably do everything we need to do right out of the box, or you can talk to a programmer and they'll do exactly what you needed to. But we are not in the market for a $300 a month replacement for Stocky. That's not happening.
Right.
But even the stuff that looks more bare bones is still more expensive because it's got a bunch of AI shit. Like, I don't want the AI shit. I know what I'm doing. I know what I need the program to do. I do not trust AI to understand our business model. I want to pay less for less AI stuff, but everything has to have AI in it. AI is going to run your business for you. AI doesn't understand our business, and it never will.
I bought a product, there's two AI-based products that I use for challengers. One is Clean Voice that edits this podcast, and it's fine. It saves me a lot of time. I don't love how it frequently will make things we say sound very robotic and scrubbed in a way that you can tell it's altered.
Yeah.
You know, it's the T-Pain version of,
or auto-tune.
Yeah, it's auto-tuning for basically that's what it is. Like it can find and isolate all the ums and ahs and things, which I can find as well. Like I got very good at editing this podcast with just my eyes, not my ears, but it saves me a bunch of time.
Sure.
So I'll do it. But when I listen back at certain points, I just cringe at certain sounds that it makes.
Right.
And things that it decides to keep in and things that it decides to take out, whatever, but fine. But also there's a new program I started using last week called That was a mistake. I have my phone recording next to me, and as I'm gesturing emphatically while talking, I hit the stop button by accident without even realizing my phone was right there. I'm like, what is this thing hit? Beep. So you should move your phone. Don't have it be right there. Well, now that I can say, oh, Venmo and Valvoline, and I can just delete these emails, I mean. The new program I started using is called Content 360, and it posts to every social media channel at the same time. And that saves me a tremendous amount of time on Tuesday nights when I'm putting up the two different posts of the photos of the new release wall and the videos you make of the new releases for the week. It's still not as good as I want it to be because different social media platforms have different rules for how many photos it can use. Like Blue Sky, you can only put up to 4. Mm-hmm. Instagram, you can do 20. Tumblr, you can't do as many or what have you. So I have to have different social media groups per posting, right? Mm. Number 2, it doesn't let you choose music for your, like, say, TikTok or for Instagram.
Okay.
So these posts all go up like the photo posts go up soundless. Mm-hmm. Number 3, and I hate this one the most, is that when we're posting videos, and like then I have to have a separate group for the apps that allow videos, like Facebook, like Instagram, like YouTube, like LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. But it automatically, if it's over 3 minutes, it automatically for Facebook or for Instagram says, this is a reel, not a post. And I want all of our stuff to be posts. And even when I post it by hand, it'll say, hey, this is over 3 minutes. You're not going to get a new audience. And I say, fine, I'll still keep it as a post, not a reel. But so it wants to automatically upload Instagram as a reel, and I don't want that. So I have to still post to Instagram separately. And also, a lot of these platforms can't handle video and photos in the same post. It has to be one or the other.
Okay.
So it's a minimum now of 3 Vault Comics FOC information for the big rig trade. See, I'm just going to delete that email. That's on my phone is right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's saving me, like, in normally on Tuesday nights, I would have to post separately. Like, the photos go to Instagram, and that would copy to Threads and to Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would do it at Blue Sky. We've quit X entirely. We still have an account, but we don't post these things there.
Mm-hmm.
But also to LinkedIn, and I started posting photos to TikTok. And then the videos all have to go through separate channels as well. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram also copies to Facebook and LinkedIn. And even if, like, people are saying, why are you posting to LinkedIn? Yeah, we've got a low following on LinkedIn. We still have a following. A view is still a view, you know?
Sure.
But now I use Content 360 to be able to post everywhere at the same time. And it doesn't do, and it was a $67 lifetime subscription. Like, I own it now. I can use it for everything. It still frustrates me for how long it takes to upload a video, A, from you to my phone, and B, to Content 360. And I noticed last week that I'd upload a video and be like, it's not there, it's not right. But if I would, like, wait 20 minutes, there it is.
Right.
So it still saves you time, but it takes way more time than you expect it to do. So I figured a $67 hit would be, if it sucked, I'd be like, all right, well, I spent $67 to store money.
Right.
And I learned a valuable lesson.
Sure.
But I do use it, but it's not great.
Yeah.
And all the ads for it make it seem like it is the greatest benefit to your business in the history of the world.
Sure.
And it does save me time, but it just, these things are never as good as you think they're going to be.
Well, because frequently we're using things in ways that they couldn't have predicted. And that's the Stocky thing of, if you only think of a Shopify store as being a manufacturer that's selling their own products to the public, and they only produce a small set number of items, Stocky's way more than you need. Shopify's purchase order stuff is fine. If you are a store selling other people's stuff at very high volumes with a very large inventory, Shopify's version is woefully inadequate, and kind of hilarious that they would think it's a substitute for Stocky.
Or not think at all is the problem.
I mean, I'm sure it was just somebody looking at a bottom line and being like, oh, we could just fire these developers.
Did you hear that the Washington Post cut 1/3 of your staff?
That I mean, Bezos is a joke.
Yeah.
And many people have pointed out, like, he's one of the richest men in the world. He could just fund this entire thing at its current levels without even noticing.
Yep.
He's firing people, and he's letting people get fired because he doesn't want that thing to exist the way it existed before he owned it.
Whee!
Yep.
I had a good ending and I just lost it. I don't know. Nothing works as well as it's supposed to, and AI is horrible for every aspect of our life.
Yeah, I certainly dislike the fact that, again, like all of the Stocky replacements,
Everybody's double down. I don't need
they're
it.
charging more because it's like, AI will do this for you. It's like, I own a business. I'm prepared to run a business. I don't want or trust AI to do it for me. Please don't charge me more for AI shit that I don't want in the first place.
I don't need Gmail to summarize an email for me. I'm going to read it.
One of the first things I tried to do and couldn't when Shopify rolled out its most recent updates is, how do I turn off your stupid AI agent from the admin side of Shopify? And it was like, oh, you can't. Okay, thanks.
One of the dumbest things about Content 360, it's not an app, it's a website. So even when you're posting from your phone, you have to go to a browser.
Okay.
And on the screen where you go to post everything, they have their little AI chat symbol down in the lower right-hand corner, covering the post or schedule buttons.
Right.
The number of times I'm like, I gotta just barely touch this side to post. I can't get to the scheduling button at all. On a desktop, fine. It's a completely different thing.
Sure.
But I do these things from my phone because you send me the things from your phone.
Yeah.
So they're on my phone. As it is now, I have to take your video. Oh, here's what I have to do. So each photo, they're too big So I have to screenshot them all so they're not too big for Content 360's size limitations. Fine. That takes 2 seconds. Fine. But then I have to upload the video to Dropbox because it will not ever upload from my phone to the platform.
Amazing.
I have to take it to Dropbox, then go to my desktop and pull it down from the desktop. So, all the time it's saving me is nowhere near as much time as they think they're saving.
Yeah.
If you post like shitty 30-second videos, fine. You'll be great. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said shitty. That I don't. What I meant was like non-edited or I don't know.
Sure.
Whatever. But yeah, I guess our standards are just too high. We're trying to show a 16-foot wall full of dozens of small images, and so people won't be able to zoom into them. Right. So I don't know. I guess we're just trying too hard.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, this entire podcast is entirely AI. We're not even real, and the store is a mirage.
Yeah, that's right. I thought we were trying to say that before. Yes, I didn't phrase it right.
Thanks for listening.
Keep reading comics.
Store is real, everybody. Don't listen to us. Store is real.
I'm not, though.
That explains a lot.
This has been Contest of Challengers. Thanks for listening. Keep reading comics. Challengers is located at 1845 Northwestern Avenue in the Bucktown neighborhood of Chicago. 773-278-0155. Keep up to date with new releases and events at challengerscomics.com. And help fund this podcast at patreon.com/challengers.